On September 25, 1990, in South Carolina, a woman named Joan Murray decided to go skydiving on what seemed like an ordinary afternoon. At first, everything went according to plan, but her parachute failed to open properly, and within seconds she found herself falling into what should have been the worst possible outcome for any human being on Earth. After the fall, she landed hard on a hillside, and that hillside happened to be home to a large and aggressive colony of fire ants. This turned out to be absolutely critical, because in the seconds right after the impact, her body began entering a dangerous state that edges the human body toward death. Doctors call this medical shock. In this state, blood pressure drops rapidly, blood stops reaching the brain properly, and breathing becomes weak, shallow, and irregular. This was the beginning of the end for Joan. But then, something almost unbelievable happened. The fire ants swarming the area began stinging her repeatedly. Their instinct was simply to defend their colony from what they perceived as an invader. Thousands of stings came one after another, and every single sting caused intense burning pain. Fire ant venom contains a chemical compound called solanopsin, and this compound is responsible for that sharp burning sensation people describe after being stung. It was exactly this pain that triggered her body's emergency response system at the worst possible moment. The overwhelming and repeated pain forced her brain to register extreme danger, and it immediately released a flood of adrenaline and noradrenaline. These are the hormones responsible for human survival in life-threatening situations. Her heart rate spiked dramatically, her blood vessels constricted, and her blood pressure began to rise again, meaning her body was now doing everything biologically possible to keep blood flowing to her heart and her brain. In this strange and painful way, the fire ant stings actually acted like a natural defibrillator. At the very moment the ants were attacking her, they were unintentionally preventing her body from slipping into complete and fatal collapse. Medical reports compiled after the incident later confirmed that more than 100 individual stings kept her adrenaline levels elevated for long enough and kept her blood circulating until paramedics were finally able to reach her. Once she arrived at the hospital, doctors examined her injuries and realized she had fallen from a height and at a speed that should have killed her almost instantly, and yet somehow she survived. What first appeared to be a brutal animal attack turned out in the end to be an unlikely natural resuscitation mechanism. Those painful stings were the spark that kept her body fighting for survival when everything else was shutting down. A simple insect that most people fear and try to avoid at all costs is the unexpected reason a mother was able to come home alive to her family.